Hello students, today we are going to calculate percent. Okay, our objective, I can convert between rates and factors. In 7th grade, you were taught to solve percents using proportions. However, in everyday application, percents are solved using decimals instead of proportions. And how you do convert that is you go part divided by whole equals percent over 100. We replace percent over 100 with the decimal of the percent. Part over whole equals the decimal. Multiply both sides by the whole to move it to the other side of the equation. And then part equals whole times decimal. Resulting equation calculates the part given the percent and the whole. Percents are used in conversations, but decimals are used in calculations. So here we have an example of find 20% of 85. So of equals multiplication. So we changed the 20% to 0.2 and then multiplied by 85, and the resultant answer is 17. The next one over here, find 135% of 18. Now 135%, converts from percent to 1.35 times 18 equals 24.3. Then find 4.2% of 700. We convert 4.2%, and I'm actually going to show you how to do that on the calculator. Okay, so here you have your handy dandy calculator. We're going to go 4.2%, so we go 4.2, okay, double check and make sure you put it in the calculator properly. Now you see the yellow percent here right above the number 2. We are going to go, let's see, do I need to move it up? Second, which means I'm going to use all the yellow ones, and 2. See what just happened? The calculator actually moved the decimal over for you, and notice that it matches here now. So 0.042, and then we can just go times 700 equals 29.4, and there's your answer, 29.4. Okay. Next, we're going to go on to a little bit more vocabulary. We're going to talk about interest. It says interest is the money paid regularly at a particular rate for the use of money lent or invested. So you can either make money or you're going to pay more. If somebody gives you a loan, not only do you have to pay the loan back, but you also have to pay more money back to them for them giving you the opportunity to have that loan. So that is interest. Extra money paid or extra money earned. If I have a certain amount of money in the bank and the bank is earning money on my money, then I will earn interest on that. The next is the principal, the sum of money lent or invested on which interest is paid. It would be like if I put $5,000 in the bank, the principal is $5,000, and any extra money I get that the bank's going to give me, that's my interest. Interest rate, the percent of the principal charged by the lender for the use of its money. In other words, if I get a $5,000 loan from the bank and they say, oh, you can have it, but you're going to pay me 10% interest, then I have to pay an extra $500, and it depends on if it's calculated monthly or yearly or whatever to decide how much I have to pay back. Okay? Simple interest formula is a formula to calculate interest earned or charged on a loan. I equals PRT, where P is the principal, R is the annual interest rate in decimal form, and T is the loan period expressed in years. So for this example, annually just means every year. So if you see the word annually, it's usually calculated every year. Here's an example. Principal is $2,000. So say I had $2,000 I put in the bank, and they're going to pay me 14% interest. And say I only had it in the bank for just a half of a year. So to find the interest, I'm going to say the principal, since the interest earned is principal times rate times time. Principal is $2,000. Rate is 14%, so 0.14, and time is a half a year. So if you multiply all those together, it's 140. So at the end of a half of year, I would have $2,140. And I would encourage you to always look at your answer and say, hey, does that make sense? If I all of a sudden thought I had $21,000, you'd be like, in just 6 months, you have $2,000 in the bank and it jumps to $21,000. that's not even close to being accurate, and you know you've done something wrong. So always ask yourself, does that make sense? Okay, now here's number 5. Interest equals 140, rate is 10%, and time is 2 years. Find the principal. So again, we're using the same formula. I equals P times R times T. So the interest, they said, was 140. Principal, we don't know. The rate was 10%, written as 0.10, and 2 years, times 2 years. So 140 equals, they multiply those out, it's 0.2. And then over here, we're going to divide this side by 0.2 and this side by 0.2. And when you do that, you get the principal of 700, and we always put $sign right there. And that's where we get that answer. Okay? So for you, I'm going to have you do this back side. I'm trying to figure out maybe which one is difficult. Let's go ahead and do number 11. Find 1.75%. So again, I have to change it to decimal. So I'm going to go 2 places to the left. So it's 0.0175. Of means times, and then $25.48. Now, is that going to be a big amount, or is that a small amount? You're correct. It's a small amount. So we're going to go, and again, I'm going to go ahead and use this percent button. So I go 1.75, the yellow second sign, percent. See how it changed it to this, which is what I wrote there, times $25.48. 44.4459. So I'm going to put equals 0.4459. Now I'm going to go ahead. Oh, that's all I have to do. Normally you might round it, but in this situation we're not going to. So go ahead and figure out the rest of those all the way through 11. The second half here, remember, interest equals principal times rate times time. So remember, interest equals principal times rate times time. And I think I will do 13. The interest is $240. So I'm going to say 240 equals principal, 400, times rate, I don't know the rate, times time. Time is 5 years. And the rate, I'm going to put R. Okay? Then I'm just going to use my problem-solving skills and finish this. Okay? All right. So we go 240 equals, and you must show work here. 5 times 4 is 20. So 2,000 R. Then if I'm solving for R, I need to divide by 2,000. So R equals, handy dandy calculator, 240, oops, I did 24.0. 240 divided by 2,000. And I get 0.12. So the rate is 0.12. Now we're going to change it from decimal to percent. So we have to move it 2 places over, and R equals 12%. And make sure you circle it so your person can find it when they go to correct it. Okay? All right, students, you can do this. You rock.